we brought along a lot of veterans to that charity. They got to watch, these old World War II veterans. They can't, they couldn't jump anymore. They're all 100 plus nowadays.
But they were there. You brought them there
to witness us
recreating that.
Honor them.
And
them and their sacrifices, and along with their the guys that they jumped with, these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. We're in the same planes that they jumped from. And one of the planes I jumped from, the Placid Lassie, it had the same static line anchor cable in the plane that was used during
from that day
during Market Garden. I don't think it was used in D-Day, but it was Market Garden. I think that plane towed gliders on D-Day.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law. So Joe, for new listeners and viewers tuning in for the first time, can you say how we started our podcast?
Sure. So it first started out as a Facebook group page. The purpose was to bring business owners together to just kind of communicate, talk, ask questions, help each other out. Because we're a marketing agency, we get a lot of questions asked outside of just marketing. So we thought, what a better way than to bring on different guest speakers from around the world, locally, different backgrounds, and just share their entrepreneurial journey with our audience, so that hopefully our audience can learn something and adapt something into their business.
Awesome. And we like having in-studio guests. Yep. And even more than that is when we have our day drinking with CEOs.
Yep.
And super excited today. We have Vince from Horse Soldier Bourbon joining us today in studio, and he's brought some bottles to share and everything. So before you introduce yourself, can you say what we're sampling now that we just poured recently?
So this pour is from our barrel strength bottle. This is Silver Label. This is my favorite of our three regular expressions, but it's a 127.2 proof high wheat bourbon, aged between 6 and 8 years.
All right, cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
So Vince, for our audience, can you please introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are, please?
All right, my name's Vince Makela. I'm a retired Army Sergeant Major. I spent 32 years in the Army. Joined right out of high school. Grew up in Missouri. And joined the Army. Didn't really like it at first, but then I grew. I just loved the camaraderie and the ability to branch out from that. Met a Green Beret, and that changed my life. Followed him around like a puppy dog, but from there I went through the selection program, ending up in 5th Special Forces Group, and that's where I spent most of my 32 years in Special Forces at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Retiring in 2016. And for me, the greatest part of my career obviously was being able to hit back right after 9/11, 2001, and that's how we got our name, Horse Soldier, which I'm sure I'll talk about more later, but I was on ODA 595 and first team on the ground in the Hindu Kush there in Afghanistan. And for me, there's a war going on. I stayed another 15 years, to put another 11 times after that. It's hard to break away when your brothers and sisters are still in the fight. Mm-hmm. But 16 years, I was 50 years old, 32 years, and for my wife's benefit, and the Army said I got to go, so I was happy to go. It was my time. But I was very thankful in 2015, just prior to that, Scott Neal, John Coco, Mark Nooch, who was the captain at the time, and Bob Pennington, a warrant officer, they'd gotten together, and Scott Neal had a great idea to start making whiskey. I thought it was a very crazy idea. Making whiskey is very expensive.
Yeah.
And we don't make much money as retirees, right? But we had a dream. They had a dream, and they got educated, spending time in different countries, even Cuba, learning how to make different kinds of spirits. Found a home in Ohio initially, and then not currently distilling in Kentucky, but a lot of lessons learned. And like any new passion you have in life, you just want to dig into it and find out everything you can. A lot of reading, a lot of time spent in different distilleries. Moonshine University was a big educational resource for us. And started off, made 50 barrels that first year, and now we have about almost 50,000 barrels aging in Kentucky. So we're very fortunate. Our name, our story, our bourbon resonates very well, I think, with most people. I wouldn't be here if I did not believe in our juice.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of our juice. It's my favorite bourbon that I drink as my daily at home nowadays. And I'm very fortunate to be able to share that with customers and people who have not had it before.
Nice.
Right. Well, thank you, first of all, for everything you've done to serve the country and everything. It's a very inspirational story. I'm just honored for you to be here and share your juice, because we're passionate about the juice. We created a whole segment, Day Drinking.
Right.
But I'm going to make an old-fashioned for us with your product here. And then, Joe, you want to ask our first question to get to know Vince a little bit more?
So we're going to ask you 3 questions just to get you to know a little bit better. So first question is, what are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
So I think just like Green Berets, you got to rely on other folks if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
And you can't do everything yourself. And I think a lot of lessons learned were, especially for spirits, making whiskey, there's a lot of compliance rules that we were not aware of. We were not aware of the whole Tier 3 system where you have, if you produce spirits, you can't sell it direct to consumer. It's you got to have a distributor or a broker that gets it into the hands of the retailers or the on-premise restaurant accounts. So that was, I think, our first hard lesson was that.
Did you go sell it and then get in trouble for selling it?
We didn't get in trouble, but we got educated very quickly.
Slap on the wrist.
And turned around and did things the right way.
Yeah.
So compliance issues with the TTB, of course, that all your labeling has to adhere to a certain standard, and it all has to be approved through the TTB. So there's a timeline where we work. We expect things to be done quickly, but when you deal with government and other agencies, you have to learn to be very patient.
Okay.
Because they don't do things very quickly, and they don't do things based on your timeline. So, as far as the juice, I think that was the easy part for us. We knew what we wanted. We had our own initial mash bill. One officer, great palate. Has a very refined palate. Mine's more of a caveman palate, but he knew what we wanted. Most warrant officers in the Army are very opinionated, right?
Yeah.
And so he was of that type, and but I'm glad that we came up with our own mash bill versus sourcing, which is the easy button sourcing from MGP, and then just basically rebranding your bottles, buying your own bottles. But that was, I think, our biggest lesson learned was getting educated, not on the process to make it.
Right.
That's the easy part, I think, but it was on a process to get it into the hands of consumers.
Right.
Before we go any further, this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast is brought to you by Warrior Injury Law.
Injured? Call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Well, so along the way, then, what's been the best piece of advice you've been given?
That it's a marathon and not a sprint. We all want things right away.
Right.
So that's been my biggest issue with that. Most of us are go-getters. I mean, we want to get things done right now. But yeah, it is. We wanted to be everywhere at the same time. But so like 2018, we produced our first bottle.
Yeah.
So we had to wait We had great investors. So I wanted, John Coco, Scott Neal, the two original founders. They had great contacts in the business investor community.
Yeah.
I think that above all, that's been the biggest boon to us
Right.
is that network of investors, private investors that came in, and they allowed us to sit on that distillate, sit on those barrels aging for 3+ years before
Good.
we made our first bottle.
Yeah. Because how long does it take for the aging process?
So initially we had our straight bourbon out at 3 years. To be honest, to me, that was, for my palate, it was still kind of young.
Yeah.
It's so much better now, closer to 5 years average in age, which I think is perfect for a rye bourbon. Every barrel has its own personality, and
Yeah.
they mature their own way.
Right.
But the investors and most distilleries will make vodka or do other clear spirits that are non-aged that they can get on the shelf right away.
To market.
Right, much quicker to market. But we wanted to stick to bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon is America's official spirit,
Yeah.
and you can't make Scotch in the U.S. and call it Scotch. We're all big Scotch drinkers, so bourbon it was, and it is an aged spirit.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want to put anything out there that wasn't up to our satisfaction.
Right.
And I would not be here today selling bourbon that I did not believe in.
Good.
And so we're fortunate to have had those investors, and bringing Gallo on board. So 2022, as far as advice wise, branching out and bringing in a partner like Gallo at 25%. They are the industry. They are the true professionals in the industry. Not wine more so, but they're branching out into spirits as well. And they brought us quite along as far as getting us into different markets. And we grew from 17 states in 22 to 50 states in 2025, which is huge for us.
Yeah. Nice. So last question then, because we're a marketing agency, why is marketing important?
Marketing, that's how you get your word out. And I've seen where marketing failures have led to activation or events. So I do more being on the West Coast. I stick to the West Coast doing activation events, as we call them. So we do whiskey and war stories, which usually restaurants, on-premise accounts will go in there and take people through a slide presentation, from horse soldier on the ground, how we earned the name, to making our bourbon and the parallels with that. I think that's a great way to get our story out there to the American public. And then retail bottle signing events and tastings. And so I've seen the marketing failures is when they're not marketed correctly. We'll have sometimes one or two people show up, or almost. Yeah, exactly. So you invest a lot of time into these, especially whiskey war stories. Sometimes you're expecting 70 people to be there, and there's like 20 people there. So to me, that's a marketing failure. We're not allowed. It's one of our lessons learned. TTB actually came down on us. We used to market our own events. If I was doing a tasting event at a certain account, that would be marketed on our Facebook page, on our calendar. We learned the hard way that was illegal to do that.
Pass it.
This one's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So where at that time we had people waiting on us when we showed up to these accounts to sign bottles and to taste, right? It flipped into people didn't know that the event was going on, and you're relying on people just walking in.
Right.
And so the marketing aspect of that was drastic, the differences. And we're still feeling the effects of that. We rely on the accounts to go out. Some accounts are more reluctant, but nowadays everything's Instagram, Facebook, X. But that is a great way to get the word out. Yeah. And it's on the accounts. The accounts put a lot of money into buying our bottles. And
so it's on them really to do the marketing for your brand.
Because our job, for what I do is the distributor gets the bottles onto the shelf, and then I see my job is to get the bottles from the shelf into the consumer hands to purchase those bottles. So the consumers, especially here in Western Washington, I've done quite a few events, QFCs and other value wine and spirits, and we've sold 12 cases at these events, which is a lot.
Yeah.
When you consider the markup of that exists with bourbon, right? And I think that was and then I've done some events where we sold 2 bottles, so
Yeah.
and the difference was marketing
Yeah.
on all those events.
What marketing as a company are you allowed to do?
Let's hold on to that, Joe. We'll cheers. This is a Horse Soldier Old Fashioned with even Horse Soldier aged maple syrup. Want to say something? I mean, this is aged too, right? Along with.
Right. So the maple syrup, it's a Vermont sourced maple syrup, I believe, and then we age it in Horse Soldier bourbon barrels that have been used. Since you can only use bourbon barrels once to make bourbon, the life afterwards is for us. It's either aging something else like syrup. We also have a hot sauce and a barbecue sauce that you can find on our website, and then we have our own restaurants where we use the barrel staves as wood for our wood-fired grills.
Oh, nice.
To make it fantastic lamb chops. Yeah. So, and then there's other distilleries that buy our barrels to age different things, beer, of course, and other things. But for us, we use it for our own experiments and other things.
And then, like this syrup, is it sold in stores or only on your website?
Only on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think our production capability would hold up to like a mass distribution at this point.
So then back to my question. What marketing as a spirits company are you allowed to do yourself?
So we can do like national ad campaigns, which we don't really have the money for. That's a very expensive thing. We have our own Instagram pages, our own Facebook, X accounts.
Right.
We'll contract with different venues like PBR, so PBR Teams. PBR Teams is a newer format for PBR. I believe they're 8-man teams, 8 or 10-man teams. We started that this year with them, and that's been fantastic for us, just getting our word out. We can brand, we have suites called Dirt Suites in these arenas, and we can brand them with our logos.
Yeah.
And how many events do they have? They go on like a rotation tour,
yeah,
right?
so there's probably 15 events per year, I think.
Okay.
But the crowds are, I think it's a better format than the regular PBR because it's a team format and it's constant. You have teams coming out and individuals coming out riding, and then right after that the other guys coming out. And I like to see the team aspect come into play.
Yeah.
To me it has a lot more energy.
Right.
And fluid action. The crowds respond well to it.
Right.
I've been to a couple this year and hosting events around that, but it's great to see the response, and especially branding for Horse Soldier. Where we get into trouble though is one account brings us in and we do a bottle signing, then if we market that, then we're favoring one account over the other. So that's where we come into problems with that. So
I see.
that means it needs to be on that retail, like Value Wine and Spirits in Duval. They bought a barrel. I do bottle signings there.
That's their
they
platform
can market,
almost.
They can market it.
Yeah.
And the most successful events I've had have been those guys reaching out. A lot of these accounts have these built-in like email lists, and they just blast out a single email, goes to 100 people.
Yeah. They
get a great response from that. And so some events we sold 30 cases at one event.
Wow.
Which is, that's 180 bottles. So that's a lot of bottles.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of profit. But that's on the account to bring those people in.
To promote that.
Yeah.
Right. It's not on us. So the bigger picture, strategy, national strategy, we can market that. It's just when it comes down to an individual account that we cannot cross that line.
Marketing matters. Growth matters more. This episode is powered by our sponsor, Fuse Networks.
HIPAA fines per record can be steep, with the consequences of noncompliance leading to penalties ranging from $100,000 to $50,000 per individual violation. Can your practice afford that kind of loss? Get your HIPAA compliance back on track with Fuse Networks. Call Fuse Networks, your local Seattle IT experts at 206-701-6040 for a compliance evaluation and reduce your risk.
Okay.
So you're on a great trajectory. You mentioned before we jumped on when I was talking to you that there's something opening up that you have.
Right.
Can you share news of that with
Yes.
our audience? So
Because that's going to be our main effort for 2026, getting folks out to our grand opening. But we always wanted to be in Kentucky. We started off in Ohio, great place. We learned the trade, learned from our mistakes, moved to Bardstown, Kentucky as far as distillation, and learned a lot from those guys. But we always wanted to be in Kentucky and our own piece of land. And so 2021, we broke ground.
Nice.
On an old golf course down in Somerset, Kentucky. So Somerset, Kentucky is southeast Kentucky on the Cumberland River,
okay.
which is important to us since our story starts on 9/11, the morning of 9/11. We were out on the Cumberland River there when we heard about the attacks on the World Trade Center.
So it ties in, like,
Right.
I mean, like,
So the same river.
same river where you heard, and then
Right. So we're, the
cool.
horse, I used for horse, how we earned the moniker horse soldier starts on the morning of 9/11 on the river. And then our legacy will continue on that river, on the same river, albeit upstream in Kentucky,
right.
overlooking Lake Cumberland, making our spirits there. So that's something that we see a long future for a 100-year brand, is what we
Yeah.
call ourselves, a
Right.
100-year brand, right?
The legacy will continue
The
almost.
legacy, right? So it's not more so for us. It's going to take 15 more years before we make a profit, but it's something that we can need for our families.
So you're building generational wealth.
Right. That's our goal with this, and we want to do it right, build it slow. Right now it's kind of a downtime in the industry. Whiskey sales have fallen off, but it's like everything else, it's very cyclical. So you have to be ready for the next wave, right?
Right.
To jump on that. So we are, and having your own distillery sets you apart. And this would be our own distillery. It's a private distillery. We have majority owners it's all privately owned, right?
Right.
Gallo owns about 25% of us, but we all have equity in that distillery. So it's been a long time coming. And so we have about 200 plus acres there in Kentucky.
Oh wow! So just a small piece of land.
Yeah, just a small piece of land. Plenty for a distillery, but it's been a long process. We've had a delay. COVID didn't help much,
Right.
and then we had to wait on getting specific grants from the state of Kentucky that we wanted to jump on for sustainability
Right.
parts of it, and so we should be operational early next year. With this still, Vendome just came in and finished 54-inch column still, 54-inch diameter column still, and Vendome built that in place. And we put the walls up around that, and that will be operational hopefully by March.
So it's almost like building a vault. You
Yeah.
put it there, and then you build around
Build
it.
around it, right? The still is the main. It's the center because that's where where everything takes place.
That's
still,
magic, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes into barrels, where I think the true magic happens in the barrels, that aging process. But those are in rick houses. At some point, we'll have about 20 different rick houses spread out. For aging, we'll have a show rick houses there on the property, of course, that folks can tour. We're building it from the aspect of the consumer. So when people come and tour the Bourbon Trail, we're the southern anchor or southern gateway to that. They can see all the sausage making and all everything that goes on behind the scenes and how to
You'll be
make.
able to see and
Right.
witness. Right.
And some cool aspects of this property. So our grand opening is next July 4th, 2026.
Okay.
I believe that's a Saturday. America's 250th birthday.
Oh, good timing.
We already have I just got a picture of the 250th America's birthday bottle. It's a phenomenal bottle. It's a 13-year-old bourbon, 13 signifying the 13 colonies. We have glass, so it's French glass made in our own 911 steel bottle molds, signifying France's help in the Revolution and the Statue of Liberty. And the plate and the topper on it is a likeness of the torch from the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, the bottle topper.
Yeah, bottle topper.
Oh,
right?
wow.
It's a very cool bottle. Very good juice too. That 13-year-old. It's a rye bourbon, 18% rye bourbon, I believe.
How
Is
many
it a-
bottles?
yeah,
How many bottles of it will you have?
I think we're going to produce 1,776 bottles.
Oh, perfect.
Price-wise, it's going to be, I think,
Few $100.
$790
Oh, okay.
around there. So yeah, it's limited release, of course.
When you're on your own property, you could sell that on your own property then,
Yes,
correct?
we can. So we'll have a
Okay.
retail store.
Okay.
We have a retail store down in Florida at a restaurant there in St. Pete at our Urban Still House,
Okay.
where we sell spirits there that aren't really available to the public for the most part,
Right.
like our Commander Select Series. Another cool part about this still is in the future, it's different phases, right? So we'll have space for retired Army horses to come out and live their lives,
Oh, that's dope.
live their retirement on our farms, horse soldier farms, is what we call it. But we already have agreements from the old guard in Washington, D.C. that as some of those horses retire, they
Yeah.
can-
It's a way of giving back.
right,
I mean,
You know.
and how it intertwines with
right.
your story and everything.
Retired veterans, you got retired Army horses, military horses, versus going to auction. They can come hang out with us and enjoy our grains as we distill them, right? But
Yeah.
I think that's a very cool thing. We have a piece of Statue of Liberty copper, actually, given to us by the Port Authority. That's going to be used in our spirit safe. Spirit safe is where all the spirits coming off the still before they go into the barreling process. So all that distillate that 6, 7, 8 years from now, as you're drinking horse soldier bourbon, that bourbon will have passed through Statue of Liberty copper at some point
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
in the distillation process.
Literally
Yeah.
have been
Yes.
touched by Statue of Liberty.
I mean, and just like our bottles, right? Our bottles, if you look on our bottle labels, the likeness of the horse soldier statue down at Ground Zero. It's called the America's Response Monument. We dedicated that on 9/11/2016. But right after that, we were gifted a big chunk of Ground Zero steel. So the Ground Zero steel, we took it back to St. Pete, Florida. We built a memorial for 9/11. In 2017, we needed to make our own our bottle molds. We wanted our own bottles designed by the wives, specifically Elizabeth Coco, John Coco's wife. She used to design perfume bottles.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So she designed our bottles, but you got to have bottle molds for that. And we don't want to buy bottles out of a catalog, which is the easy button, right? So we got this Ground Zero steel. Scott Neal asked the permission of the Port Authority. They gave it to us. We took the steel back to a foundry in West Virginia
to make the molds.
to make the molds. So we had about 16 bottle molds cast out of Ground Zero steel. So every bottle that you buy is forged in that Ground Zero steel,
Nice.
Wow.
tying back to our origin on 9/11.
You guys put a lot of time and thought into the company, the brand, and
Being
the
intentional.
future.
Smarter men than me, smarter men and women than me.
So let me ask a question. So you're still in the infancy of your journey, your success, and we applaud you for that. But looking back to this point, what has been the thing you've been most proud of bringing up, erecting this brand, Horse Soldier?
I think it's our veterans charity, success stories. We helped with the, I cannot remember the name of that organization, but working with the U.S. the military agency that looks for remains So we helped recover some remains from a World War II fighter pilot in the Pacific a few years back, using our own nonprofit that we have. So our Commander Select series bottles, all the revenue from that goes to our in-house charity.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we have a lot of our bottles, like our Commander Select bottles. New York Tunnel to Towers is a big benefactor of our charity efforts. And those guys, I think 95% of every dollar from that charity goes to a family in need. They've done great work here, even in Seattle, paying off veterans' houses, the families' mortgages. The firefighters out in Spokane that were baited into the ambush, right? I think last summer, they worked with those families, paid off their mortgages as well. So they do great work all around the country for veterans and for first responders, and especially for the New York first responders that are suffering from the effects of 9/11 to this day, from being in all that smoke and debris, the dust right after 9/11, those weeks in the recovery operations. 343 firefighters were killed that morning, men and women, of 9/11. Since then, 343 plus have passed away from the effects of that. So that's a real need, I think, that still continues to this day and will continue for a while. Not so, for them as well, for the first responder, but for the families, more so. So I think the ability to give back. Last year, 2024, we as a company, we all went over to France and got to jump on D-Day, do the reenactment jumps for I got to do 2 jumps into Azavia, France, and to Mont Saint Michel. It was a very cool experience. But we brought along a lot of veterans to that charity. They got to watch, these old World War II veterans. They can't, they couldn't jump anymore. They're all 100 plus nowadays.
But they were there. You brought them
there
there
to witness us
recreating that.
honor them.
And
Them and their sacrifices, and along with their the guys that they jumped with, these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. We're in the same planes that they jumped from. And one of the planes I jumped from, the Placid Lassie, it had the same static line anchor cable in the plane that was used during
from that day
during Market Garden. I don't think it was used in D-Day, but it's Market Garden. I think that plane towed gliders on D-Day. Market Garden, it actually dropped paratroopers, right? So it's like you're flying in a museum. They got patches on them from shrapnel damage from flak or actual arms fire, right? So very cool experience. But I think for me, that's the best part about this, is being a vehicle to give back to our fellow veterans. The Skill Bridge program that the Army does, or the military does, where guys and gals or soldiers that are in their last year in the Army or any other services, they can go into the Skill Bridge program, spend 6 weeks or longer at horse soldier farms and learn how to start a business, learn that trade before they retire. So it's an internship that they can do. They're still being paid by their service,
right?
But they can get to branch out and spend time with a business. So we've had quite a few folks come through that. We've actually hired two of those folks we've kept on after they finished their time in the military. They came back to us as full-time employees now. So it's very cool.
That's a really cool program then that you guys, I mean.
The transition is very difficult, right? For a lot of folks. For me, it was very easy. I was much older.
Yeah.
But I think I'm much more pragmatic. And I've seen it even when I was serving, right? Younger folks are much more idealistic. They have a much harder time coming back home. They have a harder time when they get out of the military. They have a harder time transitioning. So I think that's where you need to spend more time on the younger folks.
Yeah, but I feel like, I got out for 4 years and then did National Guard, and I felt like when I got out, at that time, the military didn't do anything to help me.
Right.
Right. You basically are taking a class, you're getting out, and then you can go interview at places before you get out if you're staying wherever your last duty station is, but they don't help people that are
Right.
getting out? Obviously, it's changed.
It's changed quite a bit. There's a lot, like anything. I think it evolves. There's lessons learned, and there's that need. I think like World War II was, I think for a lot of veterans, a very bad experience. My dad was a World War II veteran. Very stoic guy though. Came back from the Pacific, but that was the GI Bill was a godsend for those folks, because they all put their efforts. They were much more disciplined. They put their efforts into that 4-year GI Bill, and it came from that. And they built that boom that followed World War II.
Right.
I think, and I think that the current GI Bill is a big help for that. And now there's a lot more resources,
Right.
both on the private side and with the military as well, like the Skill Bridge program.
Yeah.
There's so many more resources now available. Hardest part is trying to touch into picking one, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of veterans who are unfortunately lost. They're homeless. Addictions always a bad thing, and
Right.
those are the toughest to reach out to.
Yeah.
And get them on board.
Right.
Pause one sec. Let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors. All right, hold on. I'll do it. A Advanced Services. They deal with septic, drain fields, drain cleaning, electrical, and construction. Committed to providing outstanding customer experiences. They ensure top quality services customized to your needs. As a family-owned business, they take pride in delivering reliable and personalized septic solutions you can trust. That's straight from their website. Your trusted septic partner since 2006. Okay, carry on with the episode.
So then for you, what advice for listeners that we have listening today who are looking to start a business, what advice do you have for them?
First thing is get educated. It needs to be something that you're passionate about. That you have that energy to. There are down times,
Right.
and times where you may want to give up on pursuing that, and reaching out to fellow veterans. There's a lot of veterans organizations, VSOs, that can help you. The small business through the VA, the small business loans through that, and getting mentorship. I can't stress the Skill Bridge enough. Spending time with finding a business that you're interested in, where you have one-on-one with the guys that started this business, like CEOs and presidents that you can talk to.
Direct mentorship.
Direct
almost.
mentorship.
Right.
Like the folks that have come through Horse Soldier Bourbon, getting one-on-one time. John Coco was our business mentor of Scott Neal, and he was a guy. He's one of our founders, and loved the business so much that he invested his own private money into it. And he's watched it grown from a seed to what it is now,
Right.
and being in all 50 states. But he was able to, him and Scott Neal and the other fellows were able to talk to these folks from Skill Bridge, and they ask, be curious, be very curious.
Right.
When we started, Scott Neal, they went to every distillery that they could find and ask a lot of questions, learned the trade as much as they could. We were all experts, I think, in consuming bourbon and whiskeys.
So you know what you wanted.
We knew what we liked. Like I was
Right.
I was a big fan of Weller's.
Yeah,
Wheated
Weller's, you're a
bourbons.
Scotch guy, so.
Yeah, the Speyside Highland Scotches, but making it is a whole different animal,
Yeah.
right? And then whatever business you're getting into, learn the compliance issues that go along with that. Not all have that. Spirits, of course. Spirits is a very regulated industry, much more so than beer or wine, right? And right now is a very bad time for wine and beer, as far as a lot of those folks are going out of business, right? So knowing the market, back in 2015, the spirits market was very healthy
Right.
and going up, right? But like anything, it's very cyclical. You got to be prepared.
Right.
You have to be prepared for the downtimes and
Yeah.
that, and how are you going to sustain yourself in the downtimes? I always say luck has a big part in like military operations,
Yeah.
but you have to be ready to exploit that luck. And
Yeah.
I think like for ODA 595, we spent our peacetime drilling, training. Yeah, our four fundamentals of everything have been in the military: shoot, move, communicate, and medicate. Right. So we focused on those aspects of the mission. Our team was focused on unconventional warfare, which was Afghanistan was made for unconventional warfare missions. Right. So, but to take opportunity from luck, you have to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
You just can't wait for luck to come along. So you have to
Right.
be, and then for me, I'm very much an introvert, a functional introvert,
I like that
so-
functional introvert.
right? So,
You gonna steal that one, Joe?
I am. That's me too.
so branching out and building relationships, I think, with other, especially distilling is very easy. I think we all had that common passion for bourbon or making whiskey.
Yeah, there's a community.
There's exactly, and so reaching out to other distillers and learning from them, taking one-on-one time, asking questions.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think
I think that's where people lack is I think they don't ask the questions. So if you don't ask the questions and you don't get educated, then you don't know.
Well, that's part of what you're
You don't
saying,
know.
to
Right.
continually be curious.
Yes.
Don't settle for status quo, like continual improvement, right?
and what's going to set you apart in that whatever field you're in, that business you're in. What's going to set you apart? Like for us, it's our glass. I think it's our spirit that we use. It's our yeast.
Right.
Having the yeast from Scotland. I think so. All that sets you apart. And just like any industry, I think you have to be. You got to think. I hate to say outside the box, but you got to think different, and from your own perspective of how are you going to differentiate yourself from
Yeah.
others.
There's definitely a storytelling aspect to the spirit, to the
Right.
juice that separates down as simple as I'm not going to look at a bottle. I'm going to look at it different now, knowing
Right.
that where the mold came from. You
Let
know,
me
I
say-
mean, it's like something so subtle, like to where you are, the river where you're located, or the distillery is going to be located. There's like intertwines.
Yeah.
It's such an American story. I think you look at the Doolittle Raiders, and you look at how I think Americans we're very adventurous. We do things that are kind of audacious, right?
Right.
I hate using that word, but audacious. It's one of the words that was used when we put our plan in front of our commanders, Colonel Mulholland. Our plan was to split up and do things that way. We had a lot of doubters on our mission. A lot of folks thought we do this, about 80% of us in the first couple weeks. We blew those guys off. We focused on. No one goes into a situation in the military thinking that they're going to die, right?
Right.
So we were very well trained, very confident. And I remember when we came back, December 18th, we came back out of Afghanistan, 2001, into Uzbekistan. And we had to brief up the SecDef, Rumsfeld.
Right.
And Rumsfeld stuck his neck out for us. He was a big believer in our mission. When our mission was first briefed, in the days of after 9/11, when Bush wanted a quick response to 9/11, when this mission was first broached, sending small teams of Green Berets and CAA ground branch guys into Afghanistan, the big Army four-star generals kind of laughed at it. They thought it was sideshow Bob and that it would fail. We all thought it was awesome, and that I think a lot of us, even me, I kind of doubted whether the Pentagon or the politicians had the nuts
Yeah.
of the sack to to actually go through with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was very happy when we actually got on the helicopter and landed in Afghanistan, right? But we had a lot of doubters. But after we got back out in December 18th, 2001, there was a general, I won't say his name, I think it was a two-star general, came over. He was from the Pentagon, so he wasn't in the operational side of things, more admin, right? He came over and he wanted us to brief him. And we did the same brief to him that we gave to Rumsfeld. And at the end of the brief, he crossed his arms and said, "I don't believe any of this. I don't think this happened the way you guys are briefing it." And got up in a huff and left. We're like, okay.
Like, why would we lie about something we
Right.
just did?
And telling somebody that you spent that close to 3,000 men on horseback, 12 Green Berets and 3,000 Uzbeks, riding 80 miles to the Hindu Kush, liberating a city of 500,000 people, right? That's very far-fetched.
Yeah.
And I guess he was not believing it at all. But he actually came back to us. He went down to Kandahar, got a brief from Colonel Mulholland, now retired Lieutenant General Mulholland. Then he actually flew back into Uzbekistan and apologized to us.
Wow.
And we realized that it was the real thing.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, for us, it was what we were trained to do. And after we got back from Afghanistan, we switched. Everything changed to Baghdad.
Yeah.
That was our next goalpost was for our team for ODA 595
Yeah.
was southern Baghdad. We had a
Right.
district there that we had to be responsible for. So
Right.
this was all in the back of our minds until 2011 when Doug Stanton wrote that book called The Horse Soldiers. So
So when you're on classified missions, you really can't talk about them when you come back, correct?
yeah,
Because you do see like classified missions, then in the future movies come out, and then classified missions,
Yeah.
and then movies come out.
and for most of us, we didn't really talk about the mission.
Right.
You know, our eyes were focused on the future.
Yeah, like what's next?
I did
The
five.
next, yeah.
Yeah, it was the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah.
And then, so I did 5 Iraq tours back to back to back, and then 6 more back to Afghanistan. And so this was way in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
I never really expected anything to ever come of it.
Right.
A guy wrote a book, and then Bruckheimer bought the movie rights to the book, which I thought was like, how can you really make that into a movie? Because unconventional warfare is a very long, enduring mission.
Right.
It's hard to put that into
A 2-hour movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the movie 12 Strong is very Hollywoodized. It's very overly emotional and
Yeah.
overly dramatic.
We gotta sell it.
We're very deliberate in how we do things. We're quiet guys. We're not. No one's running around monkeys with guns yelling at each other. We're doing our thing.
Yeah.
It's very deliberate. It's kind of
Right.
slow, but it's right out of the infantry handbooks and the ranger handbook, right? And but we're doing it on horseback.
Right.
Same tactics, maneuver type warfare on the tactical play of it, ranger handbook, right? So first it was easy, but it takes time.
Right.
And but the movie was a boon to us because it got our story out there.
Right.
And it's an easy reference point when it comes to our story.
Right.
Right.
So have you ever seen 12 Strong? 'Cause
Yes.
that's our. So it's it's got Chris Hemsworth, right? So it's got eye candy
Right.
for the ladies.
Yeah.
And it is an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Some parts of it are very hard to watch for me, as far as the way they portray us
Yeah.
tactically.
Right.
But
I
I
feel
know-
like all movies that have anything to do with battle, it's always off.
right, yeah, because their job is to make money, make
Yeah.
it dramatic
Yeah.
Right.
and emotional for the audience. Where when you're living it, it's a very different situation.
Right.
And yeah, and they're a lot better looking and a lot more well spoken than us actors, right? So, but for us it was great because it came out in 2018, just when we're getting ready to release our first
It's
bottle.
almost a good launching pad for
Right.
telling the brand story.
That's good marketing.
Yeah.
There
and
you go.
then the statue was built 2016, but Dow Blumberg, who was the sculptor for that, who's commissioned to build the statue, he gave us the rights to use that on our bottles as well. And I
Oh,
think
really
that's
cool.
It's a very cool emblem, I think.
Yeah.
Every American, most Americans nowadays, especially in the demographic that we have that drink bourbon, they can remember where they were at on the morning of 9/11. So it's one common reference point for many Americans of that age that everybody knows where they were at.
Where were you at, Galen?
I was working at a networking job on an inside sales position. I was dialing for dollars.
Sure.
And then this is before Twitter or anything, and someone said turn on the news and went to the break room TV, and that's what was happening. I was in a sales cube sitting and had to make my 120 calls a day is where I was that morning when I first learned of 9/11.
You were way ahead of me. I mean, I was just getting back from a PT run over
Yeah.
at Fort Lewis.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, we had just finished. So we took another ODA, another A team on our Zodiacs. We had three Zodiacs. We were 9 strong at that point. We had 2 guys in sniper school. Mark Nooch, the captain, just like in the movie, he had just left our team. So he was a senior captain. He's moving up to the S3 position, staff position within the battalion. So we had dropped this team off about midnight there north of Nashville. They were conducting a reconnaissance mission on a fictional high value target.
Yeah.
And then we were coming back on the Zodiac boats, and it was super heavy fog that night, I remember. So we stopped just for safety reasons because they have these barges. That river is a very large river with barges, and we didn't want to get run over by a barge, of course. And so we pulled up alongside, anchored up, and waited out the night. And that next morning, one of the team sergeant's wife, Paul Evans' wife, called and said, "Hey, I just saw on the news planes have hit the World Trade Center, right?" So, and us being 5th Special Forces Group, so 5th Special Forces Group is focused on the Middle Eastern states, so CENTCOM, right? So there's like first group at Fort Lewis, Washington. They're Pacific Rim, so they work for PACOM, Pacific Command. We work for Central Command, the Middle East. So we knew that any response to 9/11, knowing that Al Qaeda existed in Afghanistan, as part of one of my professional development courses I took as a sergeant first class, I did an area study on Afghanistan just 2 years before 9/11, or a year before 9/11. And but we all knew Al Qaeda was based in Afghanistan, given haven there by the Taliban. So,
Right.
And on 9/9, a lot of folks don't know this, but on 9/9/2001, a guy named Shah Massoud was assassinated. So that was the first part of that whole plan, operational plan by Al Qaeda. Was to assassinate Shah Massoud, assassinate General or Abdul Rashid Dostum, who was an Uzbek. Shah Massoud was a Tajik. When they assassinated Shah Massoud, they were also supposed to assassinate Abdul Rashid Dostum, but he survived his assassination attempt.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's who we ended up working with when we went into Afghanistan. And he was the most aggressive of the warlords. And he was the only one, and he rode horseback because in that area of the Hindu Kush, that's how he survived.
Yeah.
Was the mountains and the horses gave him that maneuver
Yeah.
on the battlefield where the Al Qaeda, Taliban, they couldn't chase him in those mountains because they were truck mounted or foot mounted, right?
Right.
And so he would always he could hit them
Yeah.
and then run back into the mountains.
Yeah.
And they could not pursue him.
Right.
And if they did, he would just have ambushes set up to hit them. So for us though, I think Special Forces excels in the unknown. We went in. Our mission was very simple, but just go in, link up, and do what you can to take Mazar Sharif,
Yeah.
Right.
take an airfield, and take the bridge at Termez, which is that bridge at Termez is that world famous bridge where the Russians fled across when they left Afghanistan, right? And it's a bridge that goes between Afghanistan back into Uzbekistan. So that was our 3 mission objectives, and our end state was those 3. So, for us, for our team, having that knowledge, everything was based on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Mazar Sharif, airfield, bridge.
Yeah.
And how we do that is we use these crazy Uzbek horse-mounted warriors,
Yeah.
the Tajiks and the Hazaras, which is 3 different tribes in the north there, use those guys, and they're combat multipliers, what we call them, right?
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, for our people watching, what's a good way for people to get in touch with you or to check out the brand?
HorseSoldierBourbon.com is our website. We also, and from that you can have links to our YouTube. YouTube is a great way. We have a lot of videos on YouTube from how we made our bottles out of that World Trade Center steel, to our origins, to our charity efforts. So Instagram, X, Facebook. I don't think we're on TikTok. We're not that hip.
You're not dancing.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're
Not yet.
TikTok videos. But yeah, old school for sure. HorseSoldierBourbon.com.
Cool. And that's the only place you get the syrup too, right? Is online. So
Then we got the syrup, we got the barbecue sauce, and then we also have a hot sauce that's aged in our bourbon barrels as well.
cool.
Yes.
Well, we're truly honored for you to join
Yes,
us in
thank you.
studio. This is really cool. We're brown liquor guys ourselves, so it just hit all the boxes for being a veteran-owned company, supporting highlighting another veteran-owned company for everything that you do and the charity give back you give. So on behalf of our sponsors, A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law, my name's Galen.
Joe?
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Vince, thank you so much for coming on. Cheers.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, guys.
tune in to the next episode. Thanks, guys.